Yeah, it's the 4:30 wake up. Roll call, where you at? Hey, we talk about the little things a lot, man, and why it's important to pay attention to the little things. Um, I've been moving real slow in my life and my decision making. For the first time ever, it's almost eerily awkward to me to stop and to think about things and to pray about things and meditate. I'm usually just sporadically impulsive. Just let's just go do it. And we'll think about it later. We'll deal with the consequences later. I've heard the saying, and I kind of like the saying. It says, "I'd rather ask for your forgiveness than your permission." Um, and so, but now I'm in a different phase of my life. Maybe not so much with man as much as with God. I have no problem asking for his permission before I do certain things. And so it's actually starting to become a habit, which is a good habit, right? Not being so impulsive, not being so whimsical, just kind of taking my time, meticulously working out the different details, to make sure that I have the most accurate information that I can take to the Lord. Because here's what I understand about God is that you have to be singular minded when you petition God for something, right? When you go to the box, when you pray, when you put this energy out there, right? You have to be singular minded. If you can't be double minded, a man who double minded deserves nothing, right? And will get nothing, because where does God know to harness his energy, to put all of his energy if you're a little bit over here and then a little bit over here, like you're straddling the fence? He's just gonna look at you and say, well, listen, come back to me when you know for sure, because I can't put my focus here or my focus there. Tony Robbins says, wherever focus goes, energy flows. So if you're not singular and your decision making, you're hesitant. The old Japanese proverb that says, where there was doubt, there is no doubt. So you have to be singularly minded. So I've been taking my time to make sure that when I make these decisions, the big decisions though, not like little things like what am I gonna wear today? And that's nothing, right? But the bigger decisions, it's decisions that have greater ramifications down the line. Like, it's important to measure twice and to cut once. It's important to make sure that you're making a list and checking it twice, right? Santa Claus is coming to town. Because imagine, like, I've done a little bit of construction in my life years ago, but not much, like a couple days worth of construction, right? But I imagine that when they're building, let's say, a new house, right? The very first person who had their hands on this plan was the architect, and he had this idea, he sketched it out, he labeled it out, and then he started working on the particular details. And I'm pretty sure that when he's doing this and he's talking about foundations and pitches in the roof and things of that nature, the spacing and walls and like, he's detailed, right? And down to the centimeter. And then it goes to the next guy, and he does the same thing, and he's looking at it and he's checking it and he's double checking it, and he's making his measurements and corrections, and then he gives it to the next guy. And so I imagine that before a house is even built, it's gone through about a half a dozen people's hands to make sure that the specs is right. And now the guy in the field is doing the same thing, because if you ever see the beginning stages of a house, when they lay the foundation, you have all this PVC pipe and corrugated steel and copper pipe and wires and all these holes and all these different things protruding out of the foundation. And the reason why all these people had to double check it multiple times is because if that stuff isn't right, then nothing goes on top of the foundation. That's why the little things make the biggest difference, because if it's an inch off, then the rest of the structure is going to be completely off, and then you're going to have to start over and rebuild. So that's why we have to pay attention to the little things, because nothing else in your life can be built upon a faulty foundation. If it's not put together properly, nothing else on top of it will be able to stand. It's the 4:30 wake up. The little things. Roll call. Where you at?